Greetings and good morning, everyone, here at TBC as well as online. Welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's meditation service. I'm Kristen, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope our service this morning finds you happy and healthy, but we know it's kind of hot in here, so sorry about that. But know that if you are struggling, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and to your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths. Taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, filling the fullness of the lungs, releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. The second conscious breath, pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, then releasing slowly. As you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week, all the energy of doing, going, striving, and accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. A third conscious breath together, releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite your awareness to the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer. It's about using your voice here together with us. I will leave it to Victor to lead us in the chant.
Thank you, Kristen. And so our chant today is Om Ami Dewa Ze. Om Ami Dewa Ze. This is the chant in the Sanskrit tradition that enhances compassion. Compassion. And as the Buddha said, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. And you might recognize the seed sound, Om. In the Sanskrit traditions, Om is the sound of the universe, reminding each one of us that we are a beautiful note in a grand cosmic symphony forever playing. And so I'm going to invite Rochelle to tone us in as we take a conscious breath together. Let's begin. Om Ami Dewa Ze. 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 With a smile. Om Ami Dewa Ze. once more. Om Mami Deva
I also wanted to bring your attention that if you need lozenges, tissues, or hearing devices, we have them at the back of the meditation hall by the candles there. Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get anyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect you'll participate only at the level that feels comfortable to you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value the awareness of our own Buddha nature as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing for a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And the Sangha, the spiritual community, all of us here and online around the world, the essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other on every step of the path. Let's take a moment to silence any electronic devices and prepare for a meditative environment. Now let's prepare for the prayer of refuge. We'll recite this together 3 times. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If you are new to meditation, then we will begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and we will spend approximately 10 to 12 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by breathing together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And as the sound of the bell recedes into the stillness, it acts as a guide, showing us the way. Whatever you need to do to help the body become more gentle and more easy, perhaps another conscious breath or a slight adjustment to your posture, maybe rolling the shoulders. And with every out-breath, the body becomes easy, light, and gentle. And we bring our awareness now to the rise and fall of the tummy with each in-breath and out-breath. Softening the belly. In this way we connect to the breath, because the breath is always in the present moment, and so is a good teacher. Connected to the breath, the body is gentle, easy, and light. We can bring our awareness now to awareness itself, noticing when the mind becomes distracted by a sound in the room or in the hallway. And in the exact same moment that we notice the mind wandering is the same moment that we simply return to the rise and fall of the tummy. No judgment, no commentary, no decision, no analysis. We simply notice, release, and return. You might become aware that the mind's distracted by a sensation like an itch, or perhaps an ache or a tummy rumble. The process is the same. We just notice, release, and return. You may become aware that the mind has engaged with a thought or even a string of thoughts. Like the other things, the thoughts just come and go, rise and fall. Our practice is to simply notice that mind has been distracted and then return to the breath. 100,000 times is not too many times to come back to the breath, to come back to the present moment. And so, connected to the breath, the body is gentle, easy, and light. The mind is clear yet receptive to whatever arises, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen, and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so at this time, I invite you to remain in a meditative state as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of the air handlers in the room. And as you bring awareness to the sense door of sound, I invite you to keep 5% of your awareness on the still silence within that is always there. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch. As you begin to become aware of the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or perhaps the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of form and matter, material, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on the formless? In other words, awareness of awareness. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness now to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, just allowing in some light, not focusing hard on anything, letting the objects come to you. And as you become aware of objects and stuff and things, walls, at the same time, can you keep 5% of your awareness on the space around them, in and through the space around this room? Can you be aware of the space around the building, our planet? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness now to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you release, be present in the here and the now, in this time and in this place. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Kristen and I conspired to end the meditation a little bit early because we knew Victor was speaking. So we wanted to try to get as much time as possible. And I'm very excited about the talk today. As many of you know, Eric might be watching, but I think he's maybe working an alpaca farm in the Andes somewhere. You know, he likes to travel and do wild, exotic things. So he's out doing that, and we're very blessed to have Matthew working this for us. But I contacted him while he's on top of Mount Everest or wherever and said, I need to change the talk title. And he's like, oh, Dougherty. And, you know, I had this talk all ready to go called Head of the Drama Department, which I'll give someday, talking about drama. But that's not what was in my heart. Something else came up. And so I have not actually paid much attention to dreams in my life. And so in my whole life, but as my spiritual practice matures and deepens, I'm learning that there are no accidents, there are no coincidences. And so when the universe gives you a nudge, okay, sometimes it's more like a whack from a cosmic 2x4, but I kind of have learned to listen. And so I have become interested in dreams this week. And I want to begin by sharing with you the dream that basically piqued this new curiosity, and then share some of my research and discussions and things that I have come across. And so now, as I tell you about this dream, I would like for you to refrain from interpreting, okay? Because that's the Western way. What does it all mean? And it's not that they don't sometimes have meaning, but it's important in the Buddhist practice, in the Buddhist context, to examine the types of dreams and then be more present with the process than the content, the context rather than the content. So as I share this dream with you, I would like to ask you to refrain from interpretation, and some parts of the dream are a little intense, but I want you to just stay with me here until we get to the end of it, all right? So here we go. So this dream began with me being outdoors. I was walking in some slightly wooded area. There was a few trees and some brush and things like that. And it was very peaceful. And I remember it being sunny. And so as I was walking, all of a sudden in front of me descended a drone. You guys know what drones are, these little electric flying machines. And so this drone came down in front of me, and I recall in the dream feeling that this wasn't right. In fact, I even felt alarmed. It's like, what the heck is this? And it turned out that my alarm within the dream was accurate. For in that moment, the drone became hostile. And it was then that the drone fired a bolt into my chest. And I recall feeling fear, shock. There was even an aspect of pain to it. And at the moment that this bolt killed me is when I woke up. However, I woke up in the dream. I was still in the dream, but now I'm watching the whole thing replay. I'm watching the form that we all call Victor walking through the wooded area. I see the drone come down. I see the drone kill the body, but there was no shock. There was no fear. There was no alarm. There was no pain. There was just this witnessing aspect and being aware that I'm in a dream watching all of this take place. And then there was one other aspect of this that was kind of strange for me, which is normally I wake up then, right? And then I was like, oh, rub the eyes and roll around on the bed and then get up. None of that even happened. I don't even recall a transition from the dream. I simply rolled out of bed and walked into the kitchen. So the vivid quality of the dream, the waking within the dream, the absence of the sleep-waking transition, all created a very memorable impact on me. And so I began researching dreams within the context of our practice. And so that's when Eric got the phone call while he's in the middle of Mount Everest. So, according to legend, Siddhartha Gautama, when he was glowing right after his enlightenment, right after his awakening, people were coming up and going, "Are you a god? Are you a saint? Are you a rishi? What is this? Who are you?" And he says, "It's not who am I, it's what am I? I am simply awake." And so the word Buddha, which was then how he got the title, because in the Sanskrit tradition, the root Bud means to awaken. And so the Buddha received his title in that moment. And this comes from, as you can see, that within the context of the Buddhist practice, from the outset, Buddhism has been very intimately connected to literal and figurative sleep. In fact, one way to understand the Buddhist teachings is that we are actually the most spiritually awake in deep, dreamless sleep, and the most asleep in the so-called daily, waking, regular process of our lives, because then that's all filled with all of the head stuff. And so the beauty of the Buddhist approach is this understanding that consciousness does not sleep. And I want to just stop there for just a moment. It's an important realization. Consciousness does not sleep. And as we cultivate identification with our true nature, our Buddha nature, our Christ nature, whatever you want to call it, our practice continues regardless of what the body is doing. Spiritual practice, and what Andrew Holacek, an author that I'm going to be quoting from quite a bit here, spiritual practice and what Andrew Holacek calls the nocturnal meditations. Who knew? I was always meditating and then falling asleep. Who knew that I could fall asleep and meditate? And so spiritual practice and what Andrew Holacek calls the nocturnal meditations, like dream yoga, can lead us to this awakening that consciousness never sleeps. So I did a little bit of research. I want to share a little bit of that with you right now. Dreams in the Buddhist practice are generally treated as a simile for emptiness. Very little interpretation goes on in the Buddhist practice, which is quite counter to the West with Carl Jung and Freud and all of those dream interpretation things. And not that one's good, bad, right, or wrong, but in Buddhist practice, they really didn't pay much attention to dreams, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. The most common use of dreams in the literature, especially in the Mahayana tradition or the northern school of Buddhism, which China, Tibet, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, is to see dreams as a simile for emptiness or sunyata, the hollow core at the heart of all component dharmas or things, at the heart of what we all call reality. For example, in the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha taught all conditioned dharmas are like a dream. They're like an illusion, a bubble, a shadow, a lightning flash, or a dewdrop. And we should always contemplate them as such. Dreams symbolize the changing and impermanent nature of all things known to the senses: sights, sounds, smells, flavors, sensations, touch, thoughts. They are all dreamlike. They're very fleeting. They come, they go, and they are ultimately, for us, unobtainable. By pursuing and grasping material things or even ephemeral states, we create the causes for suffering in this lifetime. For the Buddhist monks and monastic disciples who were intent on cultivating the mind full time, even that phrase kind of, whoa. I've simply been cultivating mindfulness during the waking hours. In the Buddhist practice, it's full time. They're cultivating mindfulness even in sleep, even in dreams. So for the monks cultivating the mind full time, dreams were considered as illusory and false. In fact, they were considered no different from the illusions of our waking daily activities. I like how Ram Dass was like, okay, 20 minutes ago, what were you aware of? Oh, well, my car and the steering wheel and the things in the seat and stuff going by. Where are those things now? They're not here. The only thing that's here, and the only thing that's always here, is our awareness of all the things that come and go, including thoughts, including dreams. So Buddhism breaks dreams down into a couple different categories. And actually there's quite a few, but I've just capped on a couple of the main ones here. There are, for example, teaching dreams. Dreams that somehow provide a piece to some puzzle that we're working with. Or dreams that tie concepts together and provide us with kind of an aha. Buddhism goes on to categorize dreams as prescient or prophetic. And so I was talking with Robert, our teacher here, about it, and he shared with me about a prophetic dream that he had many, many years ago. He and his family were visiting friends at Lake Michigan. And 2 nights before the family was going to go to the beach and play in the lake, he had this dream about not being able to get his breath and about struggling, and it was like a drowning. And so the next night, this is now a day before they were going to go to the beach, he had the same dream again. And this time he told his wife about it, and she was shocked because she said she had the same dream. And so Robert decided, we're not going to the beach. And so the friends that were going to go with him, they all went to the beach. And when he talked with his friend the day after, the friend said, it was probably a good thing that you didn't go, because that day the waves were really choppy, the wind was high, and there was a very, very strong undertow. And there were lots of signs posted on the beach. And she said that about 1 mile north of where they were at was a drowning. And so they talk about these prescient or prophetic dreams. And those within the Buddhist practice are dreams that are considered worth talking about. The next type of dream is the monkey mind dreams, or basically just the mind or the consciousness at play. Silly, nonsensical, just wild dreams that show up, come and go. Oftentimes you don't even remember them. And so they talk about those as well. Also in the Buddhist practice, which is where it now connects with Western psychology, are what they call processing dreams. These are dreams that were understood from a psychological perspective as replaying the contents of something that may have happened during the day. And then that experience returns at night as dream images. And although considered empty and false, can still produce a physical reaction and an opportunity to process certain emotions. So here's what I want to talk about today, is where we focus on now the Buddhist practice of lucid dreaming. This is interactive dreams, where we are aware and mindful that we are dreaming and can interact with it. So let me share with you some of my research. The nocturnal meditations begin with lucid dreaming, which is the launching pad for exploring the deep inner space of the nighttime mind. In lucid dreaming, you are fully conscious with the dream and therefore can do almost anything you want to within it. Lucid dreaming is the ultimate in home entertainment. Your mind becomes the theater, and you are the producer, director, writer, and star. However, lucid dreaming alone will not wake you up in the spiritual sense, in the spiritual context of our practice. Because if you merely indulge your fantasies within lucid dreaming, it can become super samsara, or very addictive. Pretty soon we start clinging, it's now I just want to sleep all day because it's so much fun. And you can see how that can be a rabbit hole. So the trap and the invitation is to be careful of that trap. And instead we want to go deeper. Lucid dreaming can develop into dream yoga, which is when it becomes a spiritual practice. While in lucid dreams, we can create negative karma, because if any intentional thought, word, or deed within a lucid dream is not free of karmic responsibility. So you do something intentionally within a lucid dream, you can create karma. So we want to be careful of that. Dream yoga, on the same side, on the other side of the same coin, dream yoga can purify karma. So dream yoga is designed to unite you with deeper aspects of your being and is more concerned with self-transcendence than having a really great fun time in your dream. So I wanted to set that up and make sure that you understand that this is a very powerful practice, and it is a practice that is done by many, many Buddhists all around the world, and is something that I have now become interested in, and I'm doing a lot of research and beginning to work with and finding it rather interesting and exciting. So with dream yoga, instead of using your mind as an entertainment center, you turn it into a laboratory. You experiment with dream meditations. Study your mind using the medium of dreams. For example, one dream yoga practice is to change objects in your dream. You can turn a table into a flower or transform a boat into a car. You can also add or subtract things within the dream. You can shift or change their size, expand a home into a mansion or shrink it down into a dollhouse. Now, why would we want to do this? Tibetan master Tenzin Wangyal says that just as dream objects can be transformed in dreams, so too can emotional states and conceptual limitations be transformed in our waking life. With the experience of the dreamy and malleable nature of experience, we can transform depression into happiness, fear into courage, anger into love, hopelessness into faith, and distraction into presence. Challenge the balance. This practice challenges the boundaries that constrict us. The purpose of these practices is to integrate lucidity and flexibility with every moment of life. Let go of the heavily conditioned way that we have of ordering reality, making meaning out of everything, and being trapped in delusion. So some of the benefits of lucid dreaming, one reason why we might want to engage in these nocturnal meditations is because they work directly with the tectonic plates of our experience. In other words, when we relate to our mind in meditation during the day, we are mostly working with surface levels of consciousness, with the conscious mind, which is about as direct as we can get at that time. But these conscious levels are usually projections of deeper unconscious strata that underlie all surface experiences. In other words, we see the world as we are, not as it truly is. And so if we can work with these unconscious levels directly, which is the rare opportunity provided by dream and sleep yoga, we are now facing the mind point blank. No distractions, no overlays. According to Tralug Rinpoche, dream yoga can unleash potentials that have not been previously accessed. We can tap into untapped reservoirs of wisdom. If a person applies a practice within a dream, he goes on to say, it is 9 times more effective than applying that practice in our daily waking hours. Number 2, with nighttime yoga, you can bring sleeping and dreaming fully onto our spiritual path. For those who are busy, it's like adding a night shift. Moreover, you can transpose insights from the night into the day. Experiences we gain from practice we do during our dream time can then be brought into our daytime experience. There's that lucidity again, and that direct application of our practice. For example, we can learn to change the frightening images we see in our dreams into peaceful forms, and using the same process, we can transmute negative emotions that we feel during the daytime into increased awareness of the whole process, the bigger picture, moving from content to context. Something else that we can do, or another benefit of lucid dreaming, is to gain mastery over dream and sleep, is to gain mastery over our own mind. You see, the point is not to control your dreams, but rather to have control over your mind. In the same way, the point of meditation is not to control your thoughts, it's so your thoughts don't control you. It's the same practice, and we can apply it in our dream states. Number 4, dream yoga also develops intuition, siddhi, or psychic power. Dream yoga reveals the dreamlike nature of experience, and therefore, when that is revealed to us, it has less power over us. That's what it means to be lucid, to cut through delusory appearances to the truth. As it says in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, emptiness cannot harm emptiness. When we wake up spiritually, we feel things more because we are awake. And they hurt less because there's nobody there to feel that pain. Every single night at this ground zero of being, ignorance is replaced with insight. Multiplicity is supplanted by unity. Duality melts back into non-duality. So at our core, below any surface language, race, color, creed, Republican, Democrat, gay, straight, below all of that, we are absolutely the same. That pure consciousness that deep dreamless sleep affords us. The practices of the night lead us to this unified field and awaken us to the universality of the human condition. For you see, when you go to sleep, you are actually going there and meeting me, meeting everyone, and every other sentient being on this planet, indeed in the universe, at this deepest possible level. We are going to sleep together, and we rest in the same luxurious bed of the primeval mind. Our job when we rise each morning is not to forget this nightly reunion. So the next time you see me or anyone else, remember that we have met before. Remember that at this most fundamental level of being, we are still together, even now. And it is time to wake up to this truth.
Let's take a moment to embody these teachings before we move into our loving kindness meditation. Imagine in your mind's eye the image of you, this human form in this life, and say to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at ease and happy. Conscious breath together. This time, have an image of the world. Maybe think of it from space. And also imagine all the sentient beings of land and sky and sea, including yourself in this image. Say to yourself together, may we be filled with loving kindness.
May we be filled with loving kindness.
May we be safe from inner and outer dangers. May we be well in body and mind. May we be at ease and happy. Another conscious breath together as we end that practice. In the true spirit of dana, the Buddha's practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, not in return for something you have received, but so that others may seek refuge in this Sangha and may find it here at Temple Buddhist Center. Dana boxes are located at the lower floor near the door and in the front of the balcony. Thank you to all our wonderful volunteers, and thank you to our TBC ambassadors, those who have committed to regular electronic donations. It's not about the amount. The monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you would like to become an ambassador, just click on the Love Offering button on our website, templebuddhistcenter.com. And thank you, Victor, for your wonderful message today, sharing your wisdom with us with the dream yoga. That is pretty fascinating, by the way. And to you, Rochelle, for your wonderful music today. And we thank each and every one of you for being here this morning. We are all the better for it. Okay. Let us prepare now to close our service with the bodhicitta dedication. We will say this together one time. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let's go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. So open our hands and open our hearts and shine our light upon the world. Namaste.
Thank you so much, everyone. I forgot to tell you that I created a sheet called How to Do Dream Yoga. And so I forgot to make copies of it, so that's what Dave is doing right now. And it's just 4 little steps that they talk about in this sheet. But of course, I encourage you, if this inspired you in any way, to do your own research and to check into the Dream Yoga. A couple of quick announcements for everybody. Our interplay program is still going. Again, today, we have it from 1 to 3 downstairs in the Rainbow Room. And so Beth is is leading that. And I think today is it parent-child interplay and how that would work. And do they have to have kids to be able to come to this, or? Okay, very good. And also, our Feel the Feels program, it's actually a workshop coming up on how to work with grief and the process of grieving with mindfulness, meditation, resiliency. And so that's coming up July 28th. We've had a nice response. So it looks like we're going to have a nice number of folks who will be joining us for that. And also, real quick, don't forget our lending library. It's just we had a whole bunch of new books delivered. Thank you, Rob. Delivered this week. Also, there's coffee and cookies downstairs for fellowship. Kyle and the post-service discussion folks will be meeting in the Heritage Room. So as you exit the meditation hall, go to your left, and it's right down there if you'd like to talk some more about this. And tremendous kudos to Kristen, who just got her Power of Awareness certification. Congratulations, Kristen. We have so many members of our Sangha who are doing some wonderful things. Jenny and Connie are working through the Community Dharma Leader Program, and I think Kristen is headed that way as well. Also, a big congratulations to our very own Rob, who is actually joining Deer Park Monastery as an aspirant, which is the first step to becoming a monk. And so we've created a little GoFundMe page to help him get there. And so there are some flyers on the counter out front that have a little code that you can shoot with your phone. And so anything you can do to help us get Rob there to the monastery would be appreciated. This is a practice for him as well, in opening his heart to receiving. And so we've had some great discussions about that. And also, real quick, all these wonderful things are going on with Temple Buddhist Center, and we have some fabulous classes for the fall coming up, including the Basics of Buddhism class. The Video Dharma class is going to return. So lots of great stuff. And I will put this screen back up there, but I always like to put this one up there just to send you off with now that the James Webb now that the James Webb telescope is putting some unbelievable images out there, I'll have to get one of those. So again, everyone, thank you so much. As you go into your day, were you able to make copies?
I already did. They're on the front desk.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Dave. Dave made copies of How to Do Dream Yoga. It's out on the front desk. As you go into your day, I wish you peace, blessings, and sweet dreams.